Hurricane Maria has devastated the island of Puerto Rico, leaving people unaware of what the next day will bring. Now, Bronx activist Julio Pabon plans to have a panel discussion at the Pregones Theater discussing the future of Puerto Rico. He joins us now over the phone, and good to have our friend and brother Julio Pabon with us. Julio, good to have you.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. All is well, and good to have you here on the show with us. And once again, thank you for taking the time to share with us a little bit about Puerto Rico. I want to begin a little bit about just some breaking news that we have out of that, and that's on Tuesday. Senator Bernie Sanders unveiled a $146 million plan, or $1 billion plan, I should say, to really provide relief to the people of Puerto Rico. That has been controversial for some. Many people saying it's much needed. Other people saying that maybe they need to go in another direction. Give me your thoughts on what you think about Senator Bernie Sanders' plan for Puerto Rico.
Well, I'm here in Washington, D.C. I attended that release of the information yesterday at the Senate building. It was crowded, which means that there's a lot of interest in that particular issue. Majority people that are very interested in rebuilding Puerto Rico. As you know, Puerto Rico has been treated as a stepchild. This whole issue with the storm post-Maria has shown people in a very clear way. If you compare the type of support that has gone into Houston immediately after the storm and to Florida immediately after the storm there, and you compare it to what's happening in Puerto Rico and has happened in Puerto Rico, it's like, wow, it's like night and day. And the fact that today we're celebrating almost 10 and a half, almost 11 weeks since the storm, and you still got close to 50% of the people in the island of Puerto Rico that don't have any electricity. The grid is down, and that you have so many people that still do not have water, and the fact that there are people that are dying because people who have issues like where they need insulin that needs to be refrigerated, or certain medications that they need to have, and respirators that need to be on because of electricity, and they're not getting those services. Those numbers are not being counted into the number of people that have died or that are, probably about to die or get critically more ill because of the situation in Puerto Rico.
Well, Julio, let me cut in here and ask you about Washington.
Country, yes. Right?
Can you hear me?
Not. This is Puerto Rico, which is part of the United States, we're U.S. citizens.
Right.
This is not, like Timbuktu, Africa, or in some place in extreme Central or South America. This is right here in the U.S. territory.
Well, let me ask this, because you talked about being in Washington, D.C. when the senator actually unveiled that $146 billion plan. What was the attitude amongst those people that were in the room as this was going forward?
Oh, everybody was super supportive. There were even some people that actually believe that it's not enough. It's not enough at this particular moment, because this is not a done deal. This is a plan that a progressive senator, along with Elizabeth Warren and several other senators, Democrat senators, supported. Now it's going to be introduced in the House by Congresswoman Nidia Velázquez, and hopefully they can get this moving. But remember, we are dealing in a Republican-held, controlled administration at all levels, Senate, House, and the president, who has always felt, and he has made it verbally clear, that supposedly Puerto Rico has been a debt to the United States. So we don't know where this is going. We know that this is good faith efforts on Bernie Sanders. I and many people in the room yesterday congratulated him and Elizabeth Warren and all the others for coming forward with this type of Marshall Plan, which they believe that Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, because it's not just Puerto Rico, but also the Virgin Islands, which are also U.S. citizens that have been forgotten, that both of these islands, territories, U.S. citizens need the help that has not yet come through.
Talk to us a little bit about Pregones Theater, because as we talk about Puerto Rico, right here locally, there'll be a panel discussion at the Pregones Theater discussing Puerto Rico. What can Bronxites and people from across the city expect in this panel discussion?
Well, what it is that I've been attending since Hurricane Maria, September 20th. I've been attending many forums, many fundraising events throughout the city, and it's all for a good cause, which is all to raise money, to raise resources and supplies to help Puerto Rico, from the Governor Cuomo down to Mayor de Blasio to our elected officials, everybody has come through, the Puerto Rican diaspora and our friends in the African American community, Anglo community, everybody has come through. But no one seems to be talking about afterwards. Besides sending water and supplies and generators to Puerto Rico, what's going to happen to Puerto Rico after? How is this grid going to be repaired? Is it going to be repaired the same way? What's the effect of this thing that very few people know about called the Jones Act, which is an act that's basically telling the Puerto Rican people that no foreign ships can dock in Puerto Rico and bring any supplies. Puerto Rico, almost everything that Puerto Rico needs comes by from outside, gets imported. But there's a law called the Jones Act that very few people knew about until it was raised because of Maria, where it was lifted for 12 days, which was allowing foreign vessels to dock in Puerto Rico and bring supplies. If a foreign vessel comes to Puerto Rico to bring any product, whether it's milk or cars or whatever, it cannot dock in Puerto Rico. So it has to either go to Jacksonville, Florida, where it gets unloaded, and then it gets reloaded on a U.S. flagship with U.S. Workers and maritime workers. And then that ship can come to Puerto Rico. And then that's what's causing Puerto Rico to have prices that are 25% higher than U.S. prices. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate is way even half of what Mississippi is. So it's a really strong and unfair dichotomy that's affecting the island of Puerto Rico, which has all come out in the wash because of Hurricane Maria. So this is some of the issues that we have to address. Should Puerto Rico continue to be mandated to continue to follow the Jones Act? Can Puerto Rico be exempted from the Jones Act like Guam and other territories of the United States, Virgin Islands and others? Or is Puerto Rico going to continue to stay under this ridiculous law of the Jones Act that forces all foreign vessels? Greenpeace,
right,
2 weeks ago, had a vessel, Greenpeace, the very well-known and very well-established and respected vessel that goes around the world bringing assistance. They came to Puerto Rico, and they were not allowed. Greenpeace was not allowed to dock, and they were bringing supplies to Puerto Rico and help, and they could not dock. They had to stay out in the 12-mile limit. Another ship had to go out there. They had to transfer the materials they had for Puerto Rico into another ship that was a U.S. flagship, and that flagship was able to come in. That's ridiculous.
Well, Julio, I mean, unfortunately, I know there's a lot to discuss, and I'm going to have to tell people they have to come to the panel discussion because obviously we can't discuss it all in this segment, but we want people to come to the Pregones Theater real quickly, tell them date and time so they know where to go.
It's on Tuesday, December 12th at 6:30, and this is one of the first community forums that I'm organizing this one as a result of trying to get basic information of what we're talking about to the local grassroots people. A lot of people don't know what's really happening in Puerto Rico, besides the fact that we need water and supplies and stuff. What about these long-term issues?
Okay.
What about Medicaid reimbursement? All of that. That's
Julio, I'm going to have to leave it there because that's all I got for this segment. But I promise you that if the people go to the panel discussion, I know that all of that will be discussed, and we'll definitely have to bring you back so we can continue the conversation.
And BronxNet is going to be televising it, so they can also be watching it there, too.
You see? So you don't have to tell it all right now. There it is. Julio Pabon, my brother. Take care, buddy.
Take care. Thank you so much for your interest. Keep up the good work.
Hey, thanks a lot. Julio Pabon coming to us live out of Washington, D.C. After Senator Bernie Sanders put together a $146 billion proposal, releasing it to the Senate. Of course, Julio there in with those in Washington, D.C., bringing us a live update. Listen, we're taking a quick break, but we're going to be back more open. Stay with us. We're returning right after this.